everyone. Hi, Robert. How you doing? It's nice to see you. Welcome to Positively Spiritual, everyone. My name is Shannon Gilmore. So how has your day been? Well, if you want to make small talk or if you guys have comments, questions, or suggestions, you are welcome to email me at shannongilmore@protonmail.com. So this evening we are going to figure out something, as many of us go through the feels when it comes to having to detach ourselves from narcissistic trauma, or having to, when we come to terms with the discard and we're left all alone and we're working on our feelings and we think we're doing well, and all of a sudden sometimes feelings just well up and we don't know where they come from. It comes out of left field, like it's just, we're crying and feeling angry, we're feeling upset, we're feeling alone, unworthy, and we don't know where these feelings are coming from. Well, there is a name for that. It's called somatic emergence. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So welcome. Welcome to this video, this channel called Positively Spiritual. But this video on Positively Spiritual is called Somatic Emergence, why your body reacts before your mind does. Now, we talk a lot on this channel about when you do your healing, when you journey your healing. Hi, Resistor. How you doing? When you journey your healing, what happens is, well, the body needs to feel safe before the healing can begin. And oftentimes we begin this healing thinking we're going on a trajectory. Can I talk? Oh, that's funny. Okay, so we're heading on a trajectory where we may not know that the body comes first. We're just dealing with our feelings and we don't recognize that, okay, we're still feeling animosity. We're still feeling stuck in our bodies. We still feel the tight chest, the feelings of unease in our guts. And so we think we need to think more, we need to feel more, we need to do more. But that is in itself, the body, when we feel these things in our body, it's our body telling us, you don't feel safe, so I'm not going to let you guys move forward. I'm not going to let you move forward until the body feels like it's safe to do so. Hello, Dark Horse. How you doing? Welcome to this channel. My name is Shannon Gilmore. I am a peer support mentor. If you want mentorship, there is a link in the description of this video, and Resistor will post the link. There is also, I need to make an announcement because this was last minute, and I think if we do kick this off, we'll do this like twice or 3 times a month maybe. But right now, on Friday at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, I want us to do a live video. It's on Google Meet, so we'll be able to, it's like Zoom, but only with Zoom they allow you only half an hour for the free app, and I just can't afford right now to spend money on apps and whatnot. So we're going to do this thing, and we're going to use Google Apps so that we can have like 100 people come on, 50 people, 10 people, however many people, and you guys get to ask me your questions. You guys get to see what it's like for mentorship. This is group mentoring, so you guys get to see how it's done, and we get to work it out. And it's an environment that's free from the trolls, free from the bots. So yeah, so the link for that is also in the description of this video. Hello, Resistor. Hello, Robert. Hello, Dark Horse. Hello, everyone. Did I get everybody? Okay. Hello, everyone. Hi. It's good to see you guys. So in this video, we are going to talk about somatic emergence. What is it? Well, I stumbled across this today, never knew that this was a thing. Like, hi Bruno, how you doing? You passed an exam. Well, good for you. Awesome. So, you know, oftentimes we have these feelings, like I said, they come up and they just come up out of the blue. And there is actually a name for it. There's a psychological term used for it. And that is called somatic emergence. It's where you walk in a room and you feel tension before anyone else even spoke. Now, this isn't intuition. This is something different. It's more than intuition. It's like your body knew something your mind didn't. So there's no reason behind it. Like with intuition, you get a feeling in your body and you're just like, I gotta go. God is telling me I need to go. Like, I don't feel comfortable because God is kind of saying that this person is no good or the situation is dangerous or whatever it is. But this is a body sensation that it's your body is starting to speak the emotions the mind has been holding back. 60 questions in 1 hour? Interesting. So this somatic emergence can show up as a tightening in the chest, sudden heaviness, tears for no obvious reason, or even relief after a sigh. Now, women also often get this during the time of their moon cycle. Okay, so, you know, everybody is at the mercy of our hormones, and so are we. And sometimes we cry, we have a release of these hormones. Some of us rage, some of us get angry, some of us just start crying. This is a time where women need to be supported, men. I'm just saying. But what's happening is that it's a nervous system releasing what was once too much to process. And this is often triggered by energy, tone, or the emotions of others. Okay, so it almost feels like a bad chemical injection. Yeah, well said. Well said. So it can show up as a tightening in the chest, sudden heaviness, tears for no obvious reason, or even a relief after a sigh. It's the nervous system releasing what was once too much to process. Okay, so we're going to talk about that in this channel tonight. So buckle up. Because, well, you need to know this. You need to, we're talking about getting in touch with our feelings. So, I mean, we might as well really dig on down deep and figure this out, because this is healthy. And if you can understand what this is exactly, well, then you won't be afraid of your own emotions when they come up out of seemingly nowhere. So for those of you who are coming into this channel who are new, hi, welcome. My name is Shannon Gilmore, and I am your peer support mentor. I would like to talk to you today about a real phenomenon called somatic emergence. Now, somatic emergence is a term used in trauma healing, mindfulness, and, well, body-based psychology, okay? And it's to describe the process of stored emotions. It's all also is how the body processes stored memories or stress responses that rise to the surface through bodily sensations rather than through thoughts first. Somatic emergence explained why your body reacts before your mind does. Thank you, Resistor. That is the title of this video. So Robert says, amygdala first, the thalamus immediately sends a short shortcut signal to the amygdala, your brain threat detector. Ooh. Wow, you're on it. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, everyone. This is cool. So when someone experiences overwhelming stress or trauma, the body often holds on to tension. It, you know, it's not often followed with a reason. It's just survival response, perhaps. And it also signals suppressed emotions. So this happens later on, especially in safe or reflective environments like therapy, meditation, breathwork, prayer, somatic practices. These experiences can begin the release. So the release may not come out as clear memories, but instead as sudden tightness, shaking, heat, or chills. I did a somatic release, body release, probably about 3 or 4 months ago, maybe even 5 months ago now. And I wanted to show you guys the experience, but I accidentally erased the video, and it was a cathartic experience. Like, I got my body into the release mode where your body goes through the shakes, and I just started shaking, and I couldn't control it. And I just started thinking about, okay, where is this going? Like where am I feeling this concentrated in my body? And my body was actually responding in my legs to some very deep trauma wounds when I gave birth to my twin daughters. And I started thinking about it, and I started thinking about how my doctor during that time actually abused me in the way of he manhandled my body. And in that somatic release, I just started crying along with shaking as my body was releasing the trauma and the tension. And so I was crying to let go of the where I just pushed it under the rug. I just buried it, I just didn't think anything of it. Like, what he did was brutal, but I just didn't think anything of it. And so that day was a very, very heavy day, but it was also releasing. So this somatic experience is usually a release. So it can show up as sudden tightness, shaking, the heat, sweating, chills, crying, or emotional waves without a clear reason. And can come with pressure on the chest. Hello, Mr. Osgood. Nice to see you. You can have this gut feeling, or you can have the lump in your throat, right? It's a spontaneous movement, maybe of stretching or trembling, or it comes with a sense of relief, openness, or increased breathing afterwards. Whatever's going on, your body is signaling a way of processing what the mind couldn't at that time, and now it feels safe to do so. So some of this just comes all at once. So sorry, just watching somebody's rudeness. So because the nervous system and the body actually store experiences, especially distressing ones, obviously, and the body stores this in non-verbal form, so it's got to come out somehow. So somatic emergence gives these stored patterns a chance to be felt and a chance to be processed and released. It's often a sign that healing or integration is actually happening. I know it doesn't feel like it, but it actually is a good sign. Now, in healing work, like somatic emergence is viewed as being a natural release mechanism, a doorway to subconscious information. And it's your body's way of expressing the inner truth. And it is also an opportunity for your body to regulate as it's actually releasing what was suppressed. So you may not know what is suppressed, but there may not be memories, but there's feelings behind it, and your body's releasing that. And that's a good thing. It may be uncomfortable, but it is a good thing. So, how to recognize somatic emergence in yourself? Well, somatic emergence often shows up subtly before it becomes really clear. Signs may be physical, emotional, or energetic. You may be experiencing somatic emergence if you notice physical sensations like a tight chest, your throat, your jaw. You might have butterflies or heaviness in the stomach. You might have a tingling, or you might feel overwhelmed with heat. Suddenly your cheeks get flushed, you start shaking, or maybe you start stretching or yawning. Sometimes that happens. Or you have this sudden fatigue or surge of energy. Now, it might come through as emotional waves, sadness or tears rising unexpectedly. You might have a sense of, maybe you just automatically all of a sudden are, not automatically, sorry, all of a sudden you are irritable or you feel restless without a known trigger. Or maybe you just have a sense of relief or softness after all this releasing. The internal cues for this is feeling like something wants to move or be expressed through your body. No, it's nothing demonic. Don't even think like that. No, it's just stored energy, pent up energy that finally needs to be released in order for you to move on. So you may even have memories surfacing gently after the sensations appear. And you may feel more connected to your body or your breath. The key thing here is the body reacts first, and the story then comes later. Hey Stanley, how you doing? So this somatic emergence, sometimes it is dramatic, but sometimes it isn't. What it is the nervous system opening a door it once had to keep shut. So I never looked at body language until I learned about how dangerous narcissists are. I know, right? So I personally can remember my earliest somatic response was when I was a little girl, about 8, maybe 8 or 9, and I was having nightmares. I was adopted into my foster family. Well, I wasn't adopted. I was fostered into that foster family, and I stayed with them. So I was with them when I was about 6 or 7. So my feelings were suppressed. I had a lot of, suppressed identity. My foster mother was a problem. So, anyways, I was having nightmares. I was shutting down. I was crying a lot for little insignificant things. And so, whatever my behavior was changing. And so my foster parents took me to a psychiatrist or a therapist. And all I remember about that day was crying nonstop. I don't remember what was said to me, if anything was said to me. All I remember is crying nonstop, and the therapist allowing me to cry until I was done. They didn't tell me to stop crying. I remember he just allowed me to cry. And my foster parents were in the room, so I know this much, that I didn't feel comfortable talking to the therapist with them there. And I know that was partly the reason why I was crying. But once I started crying, I couldn't stop it. So there was a somatic release. The somatic emergence was there. And it was triggered by I felt safe to cry with this person, this therapist. And my parents were there, but I know that I felt safe because they couldn't give me trouble. Like I wouldn't be reprimanded by them. Nobody could tell me to stop crying. And so I just remember the therapist handing me the tissue box. And I remember after I was done, we left the office and I never went back there again. Now, I don't know why I was crying. All I know is I felt safe. I felt like it was okay for me to be there, and I felt comforted afterwards. Even though my foster parents didn't comfort me, I felt this release, like my body felt a release. And that was pretty huge for me. Like, I don't have any backstory for that. I just have to go on my memories, but I personally do like crying. I do, like, sometimes I just cry for no reason, and I've always been that way, and it feels therapeutic. So I'm going to take that as a somatic emergence, that, it's time to let this go, and my body just needs to release it. And you're crying before God, and you just release it to Him and let Him deal with the negativity. So, um, yeah, so I'll never forget that, I don't remember really what happened after that, but I just remember the I will say I was weeping and sobbing, like, to the point where I couldn't even talk. So I probably couldn't talk even if I wanted to, because I was crying that hard. But for me, it was a safe space to just let go what my body was hanging on to, because at least I felt comfortable that had a witness with me, like the therapist, where my parents, I knew that they weren't going to, I knew, because I knew them. Like, I wasn't like I just knew that they weren't going to chastise me and tell me to stop crying in front of a therapist, and it was just safe. So your body is going to pick a time when it feels safe, and it's going to release. It's going to release the tension. And rather than reacting, you can give into it by just allowing your body to feel, you know? So, here is a calm grounding exercise for when somatic emergence happens. This is a gentle, safe, and non invasive exercise, and it's safe for anyone. You can do a grounding exercise. Just pause and notice, where do I feel this in my body? Like, where is the tension rising? You don't need to fix it, just observe it. That's the point. This isn't about fixing you and saying, I got to fix this anger. I got to do this. I got to react. No, just feel this, whatever tension you're feeling in your body and associating a feeling to it, just allow it to happen. Don't give into it, but just feel it. And place a hand over your heart or your stomach, because your stomach is where your intuition is. You can place your hand on your heart. Hi, Frank. Nice to see you. Welcome. And when you place your hand on your heart, we know that where your attention goes, the energy flows, right? So when you slowly inhale with your hand on your heart, inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. And slowly exhale for 4 to 8 seconds. Long exhales tell the body you're safe right now. Some brain chemical mixtures take days to get over, in my experience. Exactly. Exactly. So when you do this breathing exercise, you name what's present. Just gently. I feel tightness in my chest. I feel warmth all over my body. I feel pressure in my gut or pressure in my shoulders. You're not judging. Don't judge why it's there, who did what, when, to whom, what time, what day. No. What you're doing is just naming. Okay, it's called grounding for a reason. Hi Angela, how you doing? Nice to see you. Welcome. Then along with this, you allow a micro release. So you put your hand on your heart. You take in a breath for the count of 4, release it for 4 to 8 seconds. And then you notice, you name where you're feeling the feeling, and you allow a micro release. Maybe you need to stretch out that tension, Oh, maybe that's good enough. Maybe that's all you need. So maybe you need to cry about it. Maybe you just give a sigh. Maybe you need to yawn. All these signs are nervous system relief. I think that's why we stretch after we wake up, because of our dreams. Our dreams are full of tension. Our dreams, some of us have tense dreams, like we're being chased. I literally have been chased and stabbed by somebody who was chasing me. And I've often been chased by lions. So don't forget to stretch, because you're stretching out that tension. Oh, and it feels good, doesn't it? Stretching is the best. Oh my gosh, it feels so good. So, yeah. So when someone has lived in fight or flight, fawn, or even freeze, especially around a narcissist, the body learns to store instead of express. Okay, you're not allowed with the narcissist, you're not allowed to express your feelings. They'll tell you, stop crying. You're being a ball baby. Oh, you're so weak. You're spineless. Why are you taking that to heart? Like, oh, you're so sensitive. Yeah. So you learn to just hold it in, So with time and distance and safety away from the narcissist, your body's going to recalibrate. Your heart may release grief. Okay? It's going to release grief it once held in. And the body shakes actually to discharge trapped stress. And tears come not from weakness, but from completion. You're like, oh my gosh, this is such a release. And rage can even surface as empowerment returning to you. Like, oh, I'm so upset that they I just like, not at what they did, but just at the hindrance. They caused us hindrance. And now you're free to do what you want to do. You're just like, oh, I waste so many years with them. And also, the release can be, just a cathartic calmness that replaces hypervigilance. So we need to prepare our body for this holiday season. Yeah, that's right. Some of you guys are going to be with friends and family who just you'd rather not associate with, right? Yeah. So we'll be here. We'll be here on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day for you. So somatic emergence is often a sign that you're no longer suppressing anything to survive. You're not suppressing your emotions. And your nervous system trusts you now. So your body is starting to feel safe. The trauma bond is actually loosening, and you're reconnecting to your authentic self. So the body that once braced for danger begins to unlearn fear. So this is you guys want to know if you're healing or not, this might be the way to let you guys know that, hey, it's nothing to fear. It's just your body's releasing it because your body's now feeling safe. So the next time that your chest tightens or fear rises out of nowhere, pause, breathe, let your body speak. This is somatic emergence. It's your inner healer doing its work. And if you're ready to learn how to navigate these sensations with confidence and compassion, I'm here to guide you. You can sign up for a one-on-one talk session with me, or you can sign up for a group mentorship that I'm putting together. We're going to do our first session. I know this was kind of spare of the moment, but guys, you know what? We need help through the holidays, right? We need help. So I have it as a link in the description of this video where you can sign up to get in on a group mentorship where you get to ask me questions. This is free from the public, free from the trolls, the bots, as you have to sign up. When you sign up, you'll be given a link and we will be able to, meet everyone together as a group. You can ask me questions, face-to-face chat, so you can, see me and I see you if that's what you want, or you can just, ask me with your voice and we'll talk. So the link is in the description of this video. It's Friday night starting at 7 and we'll go for about an hour or so. So just to see how it works, just to see how it goes, and you can ask me questions, we can talk, we can, we can go through breath work together, and can see the technique, and I get to see your demeanor. I can see, like, it is helpful when mentoring, like the one-on-one mentorship. I mentor you through like this, where on YouTube, where I see you, you see me, because then I can see your body language, and I can see your physiology, and I can see your eyes, I can see your facial expressions, and that tells me a lot. Believe it or not, it does. So yeah, and I call you out on stuff too. So there's somebody that I'm mentoring right now, and I noticed something about how they were speaking. I don't, and I'm not tooting my own horn or anything. It just reminds me that, my foster mom, whenever I lied, I used to go, and she called me on it. She said, Shannon, whenever you're telling me the lie, you tell on yourself because you give a cough or you clear your throat. And I'm like, really? Didn't know that. Yeah, now I'm just being a smart aleck. But with this person that I was mentoring, I noticed as soon as they started saying something specific, something happened within their voice. And so I called them out on it. And that was a breakthrough. And it was interesting, really interesting. And, I just, your body keeps the score. You can't hide from your body, but because you're so close, as you are inside your body and all around, your spirit is all around your body, sometimes we can't notice these things. Sometimes it takes an outside person to really say, hey, you know what? You mentioned this word, you mentioned this 3 times already, and you don't want to talk about it, but yet you mentioned it 3 times. Is it something that maybe you want to talk with me about? And you may say yes, you may say no, but if it's a subject that you keep returning to, even in your own, when you're talking with God, when you're talking by yourself, when you're thinking about things, if something that you keep revisiting is something that needs to be addressed. So yeah, so that, my friends, is what somatic emergence is all about. It's just why your body reacts before your mind does. So you're not really understanding, why am I crying, why am I feeling this way? Your body just, your body is basically saying, I don't care. I'm not giving you a reason to cry right now. This is not the time to analyze. This is the time to just let me release. This is a perfect opportunity for the body to feel safe. So your body's like saying, I'm just releasing it. And you just have to go with the flow. You're like, okay, I guess we're doing this. I guess we're crying today. Oh, I guess we're angry right now. You know, and it's just pent up energy that needs its release so that you can level up, because you cannot level up and change your frequency to unconditionally loving and kindness and self-control and patience when you've got this stored energy. So you've got to make room, and your body's like, I'm safe. I feel your body's automatically going to trust God. It's your ego that doesn't, but your body automatically trusts God. So when you start trusting God, when you're mindfully aware that you are trusting God, your body's going to react to that too. So I remember this was just pre-COVID. I met a guy and we started dating, and he was a narcissist, yes. And, you know, he got very verbally abusive on the phone. And so I wasn't taking his phone calls. But he broke up with me. And he left me a voice message, and I'm listening to it, and he's just so sour, like just breaking up with me. And I remember having a somatic experience where my legs were shaking. I'm standing there listening to the phone, and my top of my body was fine, but my legs were just shaking, and I had to brace myself on the wall because I thought I might fall, because I was just like, this came out of left field. I didn't know why he was breaking up with me, because I was not the problem person. He was. I should be breaking up with him. And in fact, that's what I thought. I'm like, oh no, you freaking don't break up with me. I'm breaking up with you. You know, but I just remember having that, somatic release. And I know, I know that he was the trigger. He was the trigger. It wasn't because, like, from him. It was a somatic release where I wasn't unable to stand up for myself. And so in that moment, I recognized that, hey, he's breaking up with me, but this is a good thing. And I felt scared, but I had to, you know, I'm just like, why am I being scared? I'm dodging a bullet. He's being verbally abusive with me right now. So I had to take some time to think about it, and thinking about it right now, I know back then it was a release. It was a trigger, and it was a somatic release from my mom, because my mom was very, very aggressive, very verbally aggressive, very, very, ooh, she had a temper. Ooh, ooh. So, yeah, so a lot of times we don't associate what is going on in the moment of right now. We don't associate that moment of now with what we're going through. We don't think it has anything to do with the past, but sometimes it does. Sometimes what you're feeling doesn't have anything to do with the current person you're dealing with. It has a historical memory, and your body is going through the motions because it doesn't feel as threatened. It's like, you've been through this before. When you were young, Shannon, you couldn't deal with it, but now you are, and you're standing up for yourself. My legs are going like this, but the energy is being released, and I have never felt that since, like, unless, like, not from a trigger from a narcissist. Like, I actually put myself into a somatic release, but I have never been triggered into a somatic release because of anybody who was causing me problems. So Um, I don't think there's enough talk about this, as I'm just realizing this now, that, and hindsight is 2020, you know, you realize the stuff after you go through it. But from somebody who has gone through all this stuff, and if I was talking to you who maybe are brand new and looking for help on trauma, and you know, to help disengage from the trauma bonding and stuff, I would really, you know, log in a journal your thoughts, your feelings, and your body reactions. Um, because I don't think oh, it's a subject that isn't talked out a lot. Like, we just expect, okay, go through the 5 stages of grief when you break up with a narcissist, and know that it's not a regular breakup, and you're going to go through this, you're going to go through that, you're going to do this, you're going to do. But we're not, there isn't conversations, we don't have enough conversations about what the body actually puts you through and takes you through, to release that energy. And it can be scary. It absolutely can be scary. um, I remember when I was dating, well, not dating, I was getting to know somebody, and I went on a first date with them, and I didn't go on a second date. um, and they were really kind of getting possessive. And I remember blocking their number, and I remember just crying and not knowing why I was crying. Like, I had no freaking idea. I'm like, God, I don't know this person enough to be crying over them. And God's like, that's not what this is. It has nothing to do with them. It's just they're the trigger, but it has nothing. And it took me like, it took me a while to really understand why I cried like that, why I sobbed. And it was because my, again, my mother, when I went into foster care, she became possessive over me and tried to find me. But when I was in her care, she didn't want anything to do with me. So um, there was a lot of fear with her possessiveness. And so when I blocked this person, I released and I cried. I just released. My body was like feeling the tension of what it went through when I was a little girl, and I had no choice but to just swallow that and not react to it, because I didn't understand a lot of it. But I, you know, I feared my mom. And you know, uh, the school actually told me, if somebody calls your name, if you see your mom on school grounds, you run to the principal's office, you run through the front doors, you don't look back, you just tell us. And that in itself made me scared. Like, you know, like my mom is trying to steal me from my foster family. And so that's where that came from. And so, yeah, I've had stalkers. I mean, that's part of the imprinting that I've had, and it can get nasty. So when you release that, it's like you just don't know where these tears are coming from, where the anger is coming from. Sometimes your body releases anger and you don't know where it's coming from. You can't put a name to it. You can't, you know, find reason. But once it happens, sometimes you just, that's where this cathartic scream that you hear some of us scream, like this, just from right in our bellies, we just scream. It's a primitive scream. It's like, you know, like it's just a scream of anguish or rage or whatever it is. It's coming from somewhere deep. And that's also somatic emergence. And that is very, very healing. Very healing. So, yeah, just be careful, be mindful, journal your, you know, journal. Like, there's nothing wrong with journaling your way through your healing. You know, it actually helps you to become self-aware and more in tune to yourself, your body, your soul, your mind, you know, even your health. Like, this affects your health too. So take note of everything, because the doctors aren't going to ask you, so what's your diet like? So are you dealing with heartbreak syndrome? Do you notice what that is? Hello. Hello. Wow. Interesting. So do you know what that is? No, nobody's going to ask you that, So when's your last breakup? No doctor's going to ask you that. How was your breakup? Was it messy? Oh, I see you're divorced. How was your divorce? Was that a messy divorce? It's like, they're not going to ask those kind of questions, right? So, but that stress is a huge thing. So yeah, so I hope this video has helped you guys, and please remember, click the links in the description of this video if you're looking for a one-on-one chit chat, or if you want to get on the group chat where you get to see me answer other people's questions in real time. Maybe I get to answer your own. So bring your questions. We'll be meeting on Google Meeting. The link is in the description. On Friday evening at 7:00 p.m. Eastern Time. So this is why half the planet's on Xanax. Yeah, exactly. Hello, Churchill. Nice to see you. Welcome. So why was that hidden? Huh. There we go. Your comment was hidden, Robert. In Judges 19:22 through 24, the worthless fellows wanted their old man to send the Levite out so that they can have, that's why it was, because of the word sex with him. Just like the men in Genesis chapter 19 wanted to have sex with the two angels. Yeah, right. Pretty sick and twisted, isn't it? Sick and twisted people. That's what we've got to deal with this day and age. So, all right. Okay. So while Ezekiel chapter 28, that's where we're going to read to a prophecy against the king of Tyre, which is a prophecy against the enemy. The one that led Adam and Eve astray, and the enemy that leads the whole world astray and against God. Well, this is a good place as any at the end of our video to leave it on a high note that God conquers our enemy through the cross, of course, but this is, wow. All right, so Ezekiel chapter 28. The word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, say to the ruler of Tyre, this is what the sovereign Lord says. In the pride of your heart, you say, I am a god. I sit on a throne of a god in the heart of the seas. But you are a man and not a god, though you think you are as wise as a god. Are you wiser than Daniel? Is no secret hidden from you? By your wisdom and understanding, you have gained a wealth for yourself and amassed gold and silver in your treasuries. But your great skill in trading, you have increased your wealth, and because of your wealth, your heart has grown proud. Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says, because you think you are wise as a god, I am going to bring foreigners against you, the most ruthless of nations. They will draw their swords against your beauty and wisdom and pierce your shining splendor. They will bring you down to the pit, and you will die a violent death in the heart of the seas. Will you then say, I am a god? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, I got to stop here for a second, because what is coming to me is Jesus walking on the water and the enemy not wanting to be thrown to the abyss, and the pigs actually jump over the cliff and land in water, right? And Peter, he's walking on the water because he says, Lord, just tell me to come and I will come. And so he has faith, but as soon as he sees the storm, then Peter starts sinking. So this is where the enemy resides. Oh my gosh. I just think that's interesting. Maybe that's a topic for a Bible study another time, but it's just something to think about. So they will bring you down to the pit, and you will die a violent death in the heart of the seas. Will you then say, I am a god? Okay, I just know Jonah and the whale. God kind of rescued Jonah with the whale. Even though Jonah died, God still used Jonah, used a fish to rescue Jonah. Oh, just something to think about. This is just, I'm finding this interesting. Okay, we got a little stray hair here. So will you then say, I am a god, in the presence of those who kill you? You will be but a man, not a god, in the hands of those who slay you. You will die the death of the uncircumcised at the hands of foreigners. I have spoken, declares the sovereign Lord. The word of the Lord came to me. Son of man, take up a lament concerning the king of Tyre and say to him, this is what the Lord Almighty the Lord says, the sovereign Lord says. You were the model of perfection, full of wisdom and perfect beauty. You were in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone adored you, ruby, topaz, emerald, crystallite, onyx, jasper, sapphire, turquoise, and beryl. That's the ephod, that's the breastplate of the priest. So there is always a physical representation for what is spiritually in heaven. So this guy, this guardian cherub, is also like a high priest, a guardian of God's word, of God, right? So the priests on earth were the guardians of God's word. So you were anointed as a guardian cherub, for so I ordained you. You were on the holy mount of God. You walked among the fiery stones. You were blameless in your ways from the day you were created till wickedness was found in you. Through your widespread trade, you were filled with violence and you sinned. So I drove you in disgrace from the mount of God, and I expelled you, O guardian cherub, from among the fiery stones. Your heart became proud on account of your beauty, and you corrupted your wisdom because of your splendor. So I threw you to the earth. I made a spectacle of you before kings. By your many sins and dishonest trade, you have desecrated your sanctuaries. So I made a fire come out from you, and it consumed you, and I reduced you to ashes on the ground in the sight of all who were watching. And all the nations who knew you were appalled at you. You have come to a horrible end and will be no more. Hey, Piano Fixer, how you doing? Hey, Ralph, how you doing? Nice to see everyone here. Welcome. Hey, Yes. Hello, everyone. You know, every time I see your name, Yes, I think of the band called Yes, because my favorite band, well, the singer growing up when I was a kid, he did a song with Yes. His name was Gowan. Yeah. So I just, yeah. Who doesn't like Gowan, right? You're a strange animal. That's what I know. Yeah. You guys know that song. Anyways, not the song to be singing while you got the Bible open. Sorry, God. So, here we go. All the nations who knew you were appalled at you. You have come to a horrible end and will be no more. Wow. So this starts out as being, prophecy against the king of Tyre, who's that, the Pharaoh. But then it morphs into a spiritual metaphor of you're ruled by the enemy. You're ruled by this one who walked among the fiery stones in heaven and was my guardian cherub and was most beloved. So it's the reason why this is morphing is because, well, just like us, we are one with God. When we follow God's word, we are one with him. When we follow the ways of unconditional love, we are one with God. When the people follow the ways of the enemy, they are one with the enemy. So there's no difference. So that's just my take. So if you guys have anything to add, you are welcome to email me, shannongilmore@protonmail.com. Ask me your questions, your comments, and suggestions, and we'll go from there. So I want to say thank you, everyone, for joining me tonight. It's been a pleasure. It's so nice. Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Yeah. So I love you too, Robert. I love all of you guys. So thank you for joining me tonight, and thank you for listening. And I hope this information was helpful to you. I know it's helped me to reflect on, for me personally, the somatic experiences that I've had with this somatic emergence. Like, oh my goodness, like I said, my memories are fractured. So I'm dealing with, or I have been dealing a lot with this, the memory of feeling, and I can't figure it out. But when you put your body in the trust of God, when you put your heart and soul and all you are into trusting God, your body's going to feel safe, and your body's going to relax and going to release that tension so that you can move forward and level up, as we say. And what is leveling up? It is just, aligning with the new frequency. Every day you are getting better and better. Every day you're getting better and better. And, they say don't sweat the small stuff, but, just let it happen, journal, and just allow yourself to just be you. Allow yourself the process that you need. Like, give yourself the room to process all of this stuff. You guys are doing a good job. I want to say that right now. You guys are doing well. You are well on your way. So, it's about focusing less on the negative and focusing more on the positive. That's what we try to do on Positively Spiritual. We talk a lot about the enemy. We talk a lot about narcissism. But you know what? I'm really starting to see in myself and in you guys how positive we all are becoming. And it's thanks to God. It's thanks to you. It's thanks to, YouTube. Got to give YouTube credit that they have this kind of platform. This is awesome. So if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you. If you want to come back here, we are here twice a day, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 10 o'clock in the evening, Eastern time. And there's lots of videos here for you. So take advantage of what's here. And we've even got some meditations for you. Some free meditations on this channel, but also through membership. Yeah, we've got Bible studies. We've got you covered here on this channel. It's because we love you. I love you. Good night. God bless, and see you tomorrow. Sweet dreams.